City. Just let me invite him onto the stage. Hi, Romain.
Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning. So if you've got the presentation ready to go,
ready.
Just click on the share button,
right,
and join us.
Okay.
For those listening right now, I'm going to be introducing my partner from Korea. Well, he's Romain Barthelot. He's going to be talking to you about SolBridge International School of Business. And with that, Romain, you're live.
Thanks so much, David, and good morning to all the students in Canada, and thanks for the opportunity for talking to you today. So my name is Romain. I'm working at SolBridge International School of Business in Korea. I don't look Korean, I'm actually French, but I've been living and working in Korea for over 6 years now, so I'll be spending the next 10 to 15 minutes with you to share a little bit about our school and about Korea. So Korea, as you know, has become a very dynamic country, a very dynamic economy over the past maybe 10, 20, 50 years. It grew as a really poor country. It's a pretty small country, especially if we compare it with, of course, Canada, but it has a very dense territory with a population of 50 million people. And our business school is actually located in Daejeon. So if you see Daejeon on the map, it's located in the center of the country, and it's very easy for students to actually travel all around the country on weekends or during any break, because it's 1 hour by train to Seoul in the north, and also an hour and a half by train to Busan, which is the second largest city. So basically, any place you want to go in Korea, except for Jeju, you'll reach it by 3 hours maximum. So this is a very central location for you guys, especially when you come as exchange students. Usually you enjoy traveling around. To introduce you to Korea a little bit in the global economy, it's become, like I said, 60 years ago, it was one of the poorest countries in the world. Now it's become one of the G20 members. It's one of the major exporters in the world. The economy is about 11th world rank right now, and Korea is also famous for being one of the best countries for the education system, whether this is for primary, secondary, and university as well. When it comes to Daejeon, our city is actually the 5th largest city in Korea. We have a population of 1.5 million people. Mostly, our city is famous for science and technology and culture. We're home to 18 different universities and also 30 to 35 research centers. So Daejeon has the highest concentration of PhD holders in Korea. That's why it's called the Asia Silicon Valley, because we've got the major Korean companies like Hankook Tires and LG and so on. They have their research center located here in our city. One thing that I forgot to mention, but Daejeon is a big city, but it has a cost of living that is 50 to 40% cheaper than Seoul. So this is something usually interesting for students to know. Coming to our school, SolBridge International School of Business is also AACSB accredited. SolBridge was founded in 2007 and got the accreditation 2014. So it's one of the youngest schools. We had a very rapid growth, because right now in the school we've got about 1,500 students. If you see our faculty, if you look at our website, most of our faculty members are also international. They are, for the most part, foreigners, and they come from 16, 17, 18 countries. They're coming from North America, from Europe, but also from Africa, Southeast Asia, and so on, so that it's really giving our students as much exposure as possible. When it comes to students, like I said, 1,500 students in the business school, 65 nationalities, and actually Koreans are a minority in our school, because we only have 25% of Korean students in our school. That's actually a government requirement. So if SolBridge wants to grow, we have to work with international partners, we have to travel and recruit students from different countries. So we've got 65 nationalities. It's coming from all the 5 continents. I mean, North America and South America, as well as Europe, Africa, and for the most part, of course, Asia and Central Asia. Um, what our students do, of course, you're going to study, you're also going to experience Korean life, and I guess that your campus experience will be different than the campus experience you're having in Canada. So throughout the semester, we're organizing talks, we're organizing many visits by um, Korean and international companies based in Korea, so that it really gets you exposed to all the latest business knowledge. And we have a lot of platinum lectures, as you can see, and this is why we encourage students after class. They also have a lot of opportunities to join any competition that we organize. As you know, Asian people usually are very competitive. They like to compete, they like to be the first. So we've arranged a lot of competitions for classes. So we've got language competitions for English and Korean and Chinese language. We've got business case competition, we've got hackathon, we've got entrepreneurship case competition. So usually for students who are interested in these kind of things, they will always be presented with a lot of opportunities. Of course, we're located in Korea, but your language of instruction will be English. All our business courses are 100% taught in English. You'll have the opportunity to learn Korean, Chinese, or Japanese if you wish, but don't worry about it because, like I said, you'll study in English 100%. Aside from the class, there's a lot of things going on campus. It's a pretty active campus life. So if you look at the SolBridge building, it's a 17th floor with all the facilities. We've got 2 different kinds of restaurant. We've got a gym, we've got a swimming pool, jacuzzi, auditorium, indoor stadium. We've got a stage. So there's a lot of things for you if you like sports, dance, and so on. We've got clubs and association. We've also got associations for academic purpose, such as finance club, marketing club, debate club. So the SolBridge Debate Society, for example, is Asia's #2 and has been Korea's national champion for the last 3 years. So students and exchange students, they're able to join any activity that they wish. Lastly, so I'm going a little bit fast because I'll try to keep it in the right timing. Of course, as you know now, Korean companies are in the top 5 in their respective industries. And one figure that I usually like sharing with students is that all of you now, you know Samsung as being one of the largest mobile phone manufacturers and so on. They're also producing all the chips. But Samsung originally was founded in 1938, and it was originally a fruits and vegetable shop. And in less than a century later, so 80 years later, you see that this is one of the biggest corporate brands. So just to show you that Korea, in less than 3 generations, really grew out of poverty to become one of the most leading countries in terms of innovation, marketing, and technology, and so on. When it comes to your academic program, so if you're a BBA student, you can join our BBA program as an exchange student. If you're a graduate student, we've got an MBA. We also have a Master of Science in Marketing Analytics and Management and Technology. And from spring 2022, we're adding a few more programs in data analytics and fintech. So all these programs are open to you if you wish during your time at SolBridge. As an exchange student, and like the previous university said, there is of course no cost for you to cover your tuition. We have a dorm and breakfast, so we have a residence where students can stay for the whole semester, and dorm and breakfast for 4 months will cost about $1,150. So it's pretty reasonable. And like I said, if Daejeon is 40% cheaper, and so you can actually budget about $400 per month for your living expenses, and that's including maybe some of your travel, and you're free to travel around the country. We've got 2 intakes per year, so spring and fall. The spring semester starts in March, the fall semester starts in September, and your deadline will be December 30 for the spring intake and June 30 for the fall intake. I'm usually taking a little bit more time to explain about Korea. So if there is anything that you think I haven't discussed yet, or if you have any question, please feel free to comment, because this is the time for Q&A. And let me again say thank you for your attention. And I know it's early in the morning in Canada, so thanks again for being present today with me.
Romain, I've got a question for you. How long have you been living in Korea now?
6 years.
And what is the most surprising thing for you coming from where you come from?
Something that I said last year to a journalist was that even though I've been here for 6 years, I keep being surprised every day. So there's always some new things to learn, new surprises in any moment. So we just have to be open to something new. Of course, coming here and adapting here is never easy, but it's a great experience. And I guess that exchange students should embrace that, especially if they're coming from North America. It's a totally different culture, but I guess it's really gonna benefit them in the future.
I can say one thing that I loved when I was in Korea. I didn't live there. I was only there as a tourist.
Yeah,
Was the food. The food is exceptionally good, I find, in Korea.
it's addictive, right?
I loved the street markets. When you're walking around the streets, you have like these little places which have fresh seafood, and you can
Yeah,
just point out what you want to eat, and they'll cook it for you right on the spot. What's your favorite in terms of the local cuisine?
I would say my favorite is takalbi. It's this kind of spicy chicken that
Hmm.
they grill. It's probably my favorite, and second one will be of course samgyeopsal, the pork belly, of course. And if you mix it with a bit of soju and beer, I guess you're off to a good start.
Well, soju is a little bit disastrous from my point of view, but I understand, right?
So we'll switch to makgeolli, David, no problem.
Okay, so in terms of your school, you say you have lots of industry ties, right?
Yes, that's right.
What do you think is the most beneficial in terms of international students from that perspective?
Well, we have the industry. Let's say in normal times, they can visit us. We can also visit their companies during the semester. We've got some courses, for example, Asian case workshop, and usually it's developed with a company. We've got a competition. We organize international business plan competition. We organize every October. We invite our partner universities, and usually they work on a real business case. So in the past few years, we've got Samsung, we've got LG, we've got Hyundai giving us those cases. And this is a time where students can come to Korea for 1 week to our school for this competition, and it's totally free of charge. So this is also something that Goodman would like to consider. We'll be very happy to have you in the next few years. For the students who come for a semester, the proximity with industry, and most importantly, we have among our faculty, of course, PhD holders, but we've got many Koreans who spend 20, 25 years, 30 years of their corporate career um, in those big conglomerates. So they really can at least share also the theoretical knowledge from our professors and get the practical side from our industry leaders.
In terms of a business school, you guys have been on the front line watching how the South Korea has become a powerhouse economically and culturally now. What do you think is the most advantageous from an international student's point of view?
Korea, I would say it's sort of Asia light. So for a student who has not come to Korea before, it's a smooth introduction to Asia, to Asian cultures. Anyway, Asia has every country has different cultures, but first of all, Korea has been heavily influenced by the U.S. because I mean the U.S. Army is still here, so they love playing baseball, they love basketball, they love this side of American culture. So for North American students, usually it doesn't really take a lot of time for them to feel quite comfortable in Korea. And also, it's a very safe country for. I mean, I especially say that for female students, it's a very very safe country to live in.
Perfect. Romain, I wanted to thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's the middle of the night. As I was commenting to our Taiwanese partners previously, go home and get some sleep.
I'm already home, but I'm sure gonna get some sleep now. Thanks, David, and
Uh,
thanks again for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Romain. For all those that are listening on this webcast, I'm going to be removing myself for a couple of seconds while we wait for our next guest. And thanks again, Romain, for